Good evening, everyone. So today I'll be talking about learning for a world that does not exist. Of course, I'm coming it from the technical point of view. Today we are living in a world which is technically very dynamic. We are producing a lot of technological advancement, and for young engineers and aspirants of engineering, this can be a very challenging moment because by the time we finish our education, new industries emerge. Lots of industries saturate, and we need to be prepared by the end of our education to be able to serve and contribute to the new industries that emerge at that point of time. I'll describe my journey and give a glimpse of it, that I myself faced this situation when I was studying engineering. When I started my bachelor's, the new thing at that point of time were smartphones, and 3G was being rolled out across India. It meant immense possibilities. You have a new smart device and good internet. You can have mobile apps. A lot of plethora of open ground is available to exploit, to build upon, and contribute. Of course, now what happens is, by the time I finished my education after the end of my master's, the things that I was working on was autonomous driving vehicle. It was built on AI and cloud infrastructure, things that did not quite exist in a large scale when I started my engineering. So, how do we prepare ourselves during our education to the world and the technology which has not yet been established? During my journey, I'll take the example of autonomous driving, that it is not really that autonomous driving happened overnight. This industry took years and decades of research to come into existence. Of course, in media and in commercial area, at the industrial scale, it seems like it suddenly came through. But the amount of research that went into it was happening for decades. If someone follows through, lots of work went into sensors and localization to make it happen. DARPA challenge in US happened in 2007, which proved in research field that autonomous driving is indeed possible, and that research is now matured. From 2007 till the first commercial vehicle was sold in 2014, that much is the latency for the industry to make it commercially viable, to go through the legal aspects of it and make it available as a product for the end consumer to use it. So actually we have a lot of lead time as a student when we are studying to actually prepare for the world and the industries that would come at the time when we graduate or postgraduate. From my journey, I have 3 takeaways that might be helpful to the young aspirants. The first part is that we need to think about decades in advance. Of course, it is very easy to be already being involved into day-to-day activities of assignments and exams and preparation for competitive sets. But we need to prepare and always think about that what kind of society we want to build and to contribute to few decades ahead of time. What kind of world we want to develop. This forms the North Star for us. This is like the sailor navigating in the sea. You have option to navigate with the harbor lights, but then you can go only so much far. If we want to travel far and long, we need to use the navigation of the stars. And those questions, that what kind of society we want to build decades in advance, those answers serve as our North Stars. The second part that I learned is curriculum is a foundation but not the ceiling. We train hard to score good in our exams, but that knowledge is the foundation. We need to go far and beyond to be able to create value for the society. To give you an example, when I started my engineering, microcontroller programming was available in third year. I was interested into robotics. Why? My North Star. I really wanted the society to have robotics because it would immensely facilitate a lot of things in our everyday life. Autonomous vehicles being also one of the categories of mobile robotics. So to achieve my or to follow my North Star, I needed to actually learn microcontroller programming, and I could not wait till third year to learn, because then after that I don't have enough time to explore. So I learned it in third year. Instead of learning it in third year, I learned it in first semester. It was not for good grades. It was because I wanted to build a robot as fast as I could. This kind of changes in the curriculum we need to make. Another part is to be able to follow the latest research. Lots of latest research is published, and we never or very rarely we accommodate research studies early in our engineering curriculum. Maybe finally at the final year project or thesis, somewhat we study those. But research is not like studying one paper or one theme. It is about following the timeline of the research, how the research evolved over time, over decades. What were the challenges that scientists and engineers thought were worth solving, and how did they solve it? This helps us understand how can we contribute and where the industry is heading to and what kind of research is getting matured. And finally, we have in engineering and also in all other academic principles, academic areas, we have bachelor's, master's and PhD. In engineering, it is very common for a student to study till bachelor's and then take a job. Find a high paying job, find the hot markets. All of these are popularized by social media and media in general, I would say. And then a student after completion of bachelor's takes a job. For me, this sounds like a dropout of education, because what bachelor's degree is aimed to is providing the foundation studies of that area. In 4 years of bachelor's of engineering, we have 8 semesters. Every subject is studied once for few months, and in that few months one cannot imagine to reach to the end of human knowledge, which is very essential. And so after bachelor's, we need to pursue a specialization in master's to be able to at least reach to the end of human knowledge in at least one specialized area. And after that, there is PhD, which is creating new knowledge beyond the existing human knowledge. We know about AI and we know about how LLMs were created. There were heavy involvements of PhDs in there. The scenario that we have popularized here in our country is actually taking the job as early as possible, which means that the student, even though he is really meritorious and is capable of producing great results, he just drops out of education too quickly to be able to produce that end of human knowledge values. And this is a significant blow to our contribution to the society. It is like the marshmallow experiment. It was done around 1960s and 70s in Stanford. In this experiment, a child is given a marshmallow. Marshmallow is like a candy or something that children like to have. The child has a choice. He can take the marshmallow right now, or if the child waits for 10 minutes, he will be presented with another marshmallow. The children, there were many children who were there. Some children took the immediately one marshmallow, some waited and took 2 marshmallows. Over the course of time, it was found that the children who took time and took 2 marshmallows later fared positively in their adult life. They were more successful than the ones who chose immediate gratification of picking one marshmallow right then and there. This is a very good analogy to the things that are happening today in our engineering domain. The first job that one can achieve in the engineering after bachelor's, people pick that, and thereby forgiving away the opportunity to go to the end of human knowledge where contributions are really valuable. To summarize, the takeaways from my journey from BTech to self-driving vehicles are as follows. First, think big, think large, think ahead in time. Think in terms of decades and not be limited to smaller timelines. Second, follow the research. You will know already what is coming tomorrow, what you need to be prepared for. And thirdly, go to the edge of human knowledge. That is where contribution, real contribution, actually happens. Thank you.